Good morning, everyone. Let's do better than that. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This is a happy occasion, so I'm expecting to see lots of smiles and encouraging looks toward our athletes today as we enjoy this special time together. My name is Sandy Brossard, and I'm the Interim Executive Director of Curriculum and Instruction for Charleston County School District. I want to begin today's celebration by thanking everyone who is here with us. In just a few moments, I'm going to be talking to the athletes very briefly, but for now, I want to direct my attention to all of you who are here in the audience, and I want the athletes to really pay attention to the folks who are in the audience. Here in front of us today are the parents, grandparents, siblings, coaches, assistant coaches, trainers, and student support staff, teachers and principals, Booster Club volunteers and fundraisers, fans, and the media. All of you have played an important role in the lives of these young men and women and have helped them to get to the point they are today. Whether it was your time, your money, your support, your training, your coaching, regardless of what you provided, your investment and involvement in these young people deserves to be recognized. Let's give all of these special individuals who supported all of you a round of applause. And now I'm going to turn my attention to the stars of today's events. And let's acknowledge the reason they're sitting before us. Each of these students is receiving an athletic scholarship to attend college this fall. Congratulations. Each of you has proven yourself athletically and academically, and that speaks very highly of your character, your determination to succeed. And we also know that a part of that was the hard work that you did always, understanding that that hard work was going to eventually pay off. We know that that hard work on some days was more challenging than others. But I want to talk with you about what's going to happen as you leave here. When you leave, I hope you will remember all the lessons you've learned about the value of teamwork. While the individual accomplishments of each of you is what we're celebrating today, we understand, as you do, that your success depended on the commitment and support of many people, whether they were other team members, coaches, parents, or even the fans who came to every event to cheer you on. Remember the importance of giving back to others by investing in their success. Someone invested in yours. You didn't get here alone, so pay it forward. And commit to helping someone else achieve the success and the recognition that you are now enjoying. And finally, commit yourself to lifelong excellence. If you do, there will be no limit to what you can accomplish. Coach Spurlock, who is the athletic director for Charleston County School District, could not be with us here today, but he certainly sends his congratulations to all of you. He would be here if at all possible. He wants each of you to know that he appreciates the hard work and the dedication it took to get you where you are. He is beyond proud of all of you. The Charleston County School District is proud of you as well. You represent the best of all of us. Everyone in this room is proud of you. Let's show them how proud we are. And now, as you think about heading out to college this fall, which will be here before you know it, we look forward to hearing about the great things you will do wherever you go as you represent Charleston County School District and the folks who have supported you here. Before we get started with the individual recognitions, I would like to introduce our MC for today, Scott Eisberg. Scott is the ABC News 4 sports director, and he graciously stepped in when Coach Spurlock could not attend. Scott has been following many of you student athletes throughout your high school career, and we are so thankful to have him with us today as a part of today's event. So without further ado, Scott Eisberg.
Obviously, I'm not here because of my good looks. I'm here because Coach Spurlock couldn't. And I spoke to him this morning, and he wanted me to relay this to you. This is absolutely just killing him inside that he can't be here today. If you know Dave, he lives for this day, and obviously with his back surgery, he's not able to get out of bed. He's up all night, and that's why he was able to call me at 6:45 this morning. I woke up, I said, Dave, you know I anchored the 11 o'clock news last night. Yeah, Scotty, but I got to tell you something. I got to relay this message to everybody here today. And Dave just wanted to say, out of every day of the year, every year, this is his favorite day of the year. This is the one he's proudest of. This is one it means so much to him. And so Dave just wanted me to let you know how much you'd like to be here. I know you just said that. He wanted to relay it again and just make it known. He will be here next year. I won't be here next year filling in for him, so I guess good for you. He also wanted me just to kind of talk a little bit about things I've seen on signing day, or, I really don't have a message because I never got to sign a college scholarship. I was a terrible athlete. You see my physique. Awful. I played high school lacrosse because it was the only non-cut sport in high school. And the famous story is I was benched on my own senior day because my coach thought it wouldn't be safe for me to be in the game. So if that says anything about my high school athletics career, that's it. And I'm still paying off my college loans 15 years later. So congratulations to you. You don't have to deal with that anymore, which is a good thing. So congratulations on being here today. But just a couple little things that I've observed, a little story that I remember from a couple signing days that I wanted to pass along. First one, actually the first two happened right here in this room. And it just shows some things don't work out the way you want them to, but who knows how they'll end up in the end. I think it was 8-9 years ago we were in this room, and Corey Washington from North Charleston High School wasn't sure he was going to go to college at all. Corey Washington wasn't a very good student at North Charleston, but he worked his way back. He worked his way to be where he could be sitting here in this day. As a sophomore, he didn't play at all because he was academically ineligible. He stayed on the team as a water boy. Jimmy Brown was coaching them at that time, and Corey Washington said, I want to stay with this team. I want to be able to be on the field, see practice, see how things unfold, and when I'm academically eligible, I know I could be a special player. And he was. So he got back his junior and senior years and played. And Corey Washington was an incredible player, but still he was reeling from that, the academic, where he came up short earlier in his career. So he wanted to go to a couple schools. He couldn't get in academically. He ended up going to Georgia Military. He worked his butt off at Georgia Military. He ended up at Newberry College, a Division II school, fairly small school. And Corey Washington is playing in the NFL right now. So if you stick with it, I don't think Corey Washington was sitting here that day expecting to play in the NFL, but he stuck with it through college. He worked hard at Georgia Military. He did what he had to do. He got to Newberry. He got the looks. And there, he was playing with the New York Giants last year, played with the Detroit Lions this year. Corey Washington is a true success story of a day like this. Another story kind of like that was a guy named Edmund Robinson who played for St. John's High School from Wadmalaw Island, very humble upbringing on Wadmalaw Island, went to St. John's High School, had aspirations of playing at the Citadel. He didn't set his sights to University of Michigan or South Carolina or Clemson. Edmund Robinson just wanted to play at the Citadel, and when it came down to numbers at the Citadel, they didn't have a spot for him. They didn't have a spot to get Edmund Robinson in, so after he had already committed in the whole deal, he was kind of left with nothing. He was kind of scrambling at the last second. Where am I going to end up going? He ended up going to Newberry College, and I can tell you, sitting here that day, he wasn't overly excited because he felt he was slighted by the Citadel. And so he had something to prove it at Newberry College. And boy, did he prove it, because last year he was drafted and he just played in the playoffs with the Minnesota Vikings. So even if you're going somewhere where you feel like you could be higher, well, shoot for higher when you get there, and who knows what could happen. Obviously, it happened for Edmund. He was a long shot to get drafted. He got drafted. He was a long shot to make the team. He made the team. And then here he is playing in the NFL playoffs with the Minnesota Vikings. So That's truly a special story, and things that happened right here at Charleston County Signing Day, which are pretty awesome things to happen to two really, really good guys who we've stayed in touch with over the years. One final little thing I'll say before I introduce everybody is kind of stick to it when you get where you're going, and know the vision that you have. Obviously, everyone's not going to be a professional athlete, but know what you want to do and go for it, and start right away. It's never too early to start working towards that next step. That's so important. A perfect story kind of relating to that is one I actually did the story last night. It hasn't aired yet, but a guy named Cam Turner was a quarterback at the Citadel, a backup quarterback at the Citadel. You know, nothing special as a player. He was fine, but he was nothing special. Really didn't play a ton for the Citadel, but he came from a coaching family. His dad is Ron Turner, who was an offensive coordinator for years in the NFL. His uncle is Norv Turner, longtime NFL head coach. So Cam Turner kind of knew that he wanted to get into coaching, and we did a story with him 9 years ago when he was a freshman. He was a knob at the Citadel, and his dad was coaching in the Super Bowl, but he was a freshman. He had no leave. He wasn't able to even leave the Citadel to see his dad coach in the Super Bowl. He was able to petition to his TAC officer and able to get a leave for 2 days to go to the Super Bowl, flew to Miami, saw the game, came right back as a cadet. But the cool thing about Cam Turner is he knew from day one all he wanted to do was coach. He knew he wanted to coach, and he knew he wasn't going to be a professional player. But he started that coaching journey early, which was a pretty cool thing. When he was a senior at the Citadel, he had already started getting into the coaching thing, talking to Kevin Higgins, who was the coach at the time at the Citadel, and he said, look, I need to get into the coaching thing. I need a head start. Give me a head start. I'll do the work. You give me the head start. So Kevin Higgins, his senior year, let him start as a volunteer wide receivers coach, which seems like not much, but when you really have the drive to do something and you get that head start, it's a huge head start. So his senior year spring semester, the wide receivers coach left the Citadel. The spot was vacant, so before he ever graduated, Cam Turner took over as the wide receivers coach at the Citadel. Obviously a very good start when you've got that on your resume before you ever start your career. Let's fast forward 9 years, and Cam Turner's coaching in the Super Bowl this weekend. He's the assistant wide receivers coach for the Carolina Panthers. And so I spoke to him last night, and he said the lessons he learned from Kevin Higgins as a senior, not a coach, but a senior/coach, certainly propelled him to where he is now. And now he's coaching in the Super Bowl. He literally, if they show Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator, on Sunday night in the Super Bowl, the guy sitting right next to him is Cam Turner, who started right here at the Citadel. So if you go to college and you have a vision and you know you want to do something, start it early. Give it a whirl. See what happens, and who knows what'll happen. Who knows where you'll end up. Might not be coaching in the Super Bowl, but it'll be doing what you want to do. And if you could do what you want to do in life, I guess that's a pretty nice thing to do. So with that, I guess we'll start speaking and talking and introducing the future college athletes from Charleston County. We'll start with Academic Magnet High School, the Raptors. Baseball. Andy Russoletti is the coach. Connor Woods is the player, and he is headed to Pomona College. In boys cross country, Hayden DeBona, staying close, heading over to George Street, just a block away, to the College of Charleston. In girls soccer, Anna Merriman is the coach. They win state championships all the time. They bring us to Columbia all the time. Maddie Cairns going to Swarthmore College. In girls swimming, Krista Cornell is the coach. Elaine Zhao heading to Princeton University. And congratulations, Elaine. This is pretty impressive. Your GPA actually more than doubled mine in high school, so that's pretty cool. 5.107. That's pretty good at Academic Magnet, needless to say. In boys swimming, Cooper Pitts heading to Virginia Tech. don't think you're the valedictorian because you're only at 4.969, so 0.2 points lower. That's pretty impressive as well. For James Island Charter High School now, Tom Hatley, baseball coach, and this is a cool story. He just told me walking up the stairs, this player's dad played on his first win, and this player played on his 500th win. This is pretty cool. Parker Bass heading to Spartanburg Methodist. For football, Ike Allred is the head coach. Talked to him last night at the basketball game. This guy, we're sorry for just wearing out your nickname on Friday nights, but we do it all the time. The Bus Hamilton, just rolling over guys, heading to SC State up in Orangeburg. Track and field coach is David Lee, and Haley Sweatman is heading to play for the University of South Carolina. GPA of 4.228.
Scott, we skipped one. Volleyball.
Got it, volleyball. I'm sorry, I skipped one in volleyball. I'm sorry about that. But CC Cogliano heading to Piedmont College. In swimming, Stephen Fernandez is the coach. Peyton Wilson, this is pretty cool, heading across the country, San Diego State University. Give a hand to James Island Charter High School. Up next, the Wildcats of West Ashley, and we'll start with girls soccer. Drew McNeely is the head coach, and they've got two heading off to play. Devin Brown going to USC Beaufort. And heading in the opposite direction in the state, Remy Olalaire heading to USC Upstate. Boys soccer. Head coach is Steven Jackson. Cade Bergman heading to another direction in the state, USC Aiken. In softball, Bobby Marion, he's not sitting in the rafters at McAllister Fieldhouse today watching basketball. He's rooting on Ashton Coker, who's heading to Converse College. Baseball, Tyson Azevedo is the head coach, and Ryan McDonald heading to play for Randy Mazey in West Virginia. Bobby Marion, head coach of football, sending four guys off this year. to Kel Holmes, Coastal Carolina, going to go play for a billionaire. Pretty awesome. Wade Rouse heading to Newberry College. Malik Brown right up the road to Charleston Southern. And a football program certainly on the rise, Justin Berry heading to Indiana University. Give a hand to West Ashley High School. To the Tribe of East Cooper, WANDO, and girls golf head coach Jeff Emery is sending Kate Harper off to the University of Virginia. Shannon Champ, girls soccer, sending Brittany Harry to Spartanburg Methodist College. Georgia Southern University getting a good one in Lauren Karenshak. And Anna Ginlat heading to USC Beaufort. To baseball, Dirk Thomas sending Hogan Kelly to USC Aiken. Victor Major going to head to Pensacola State University. And Caden Hack, South Georgia State College. To football now, Jimmy Noonan sending a couple guys off. Johnny Ray heading up to UNC Charlotte. And Bailey Hart heading to the University of South Carolina. Boys lacrosse, Zach Bauer heading to Eastern University. And Thomas Gribben heading to Melbourne, Florida. I was there last week, Florida Tech. 4.5 GPA. Shiloh Tisdale and the soccer team sending off a couple guys. Sam Ross going up to Wofford. And Drew Johnson to Spartanburg Methodist. Cheryl Durden and the swimming team sending Nick Wukovitz to Miami University. And our final athlete, according to am I correct? Final athlete is Rebecca Groves going to UNC Wilmington to swim. I guess a big hand right now for two things: all the money saved by you parents and all these kids who are doing the hard work to get it. Now it's time to honor some of our state championship teams, the late state championship teams. Academic Magnet High School boys cross country team won the 2A state championship. The Academic Magnet girls swimming team wins the 2A state title, coached by Krista Cornell. WANDO's boys cross country wins the 4A state title, coached by Brett Davis. Girls tennis wins the 4A state title. Eric Pradell is the coach. And Alexis Glover and the Wando High girls volleyball team wins the volleyball 4A state title again. I guess that will do it for our program. Congrats to everybody. A wonderful job. That's my time, I should say. I think Claire has something else to say.
We just want to thank you all for being with us here today. A few things that I just wanted to say, and these are some points that Coach Spurlock usually touches on. We are saddened that Coach couldn't be with us here today, but just like Scott said, this is his favorite day, and if Coach didn't call me 4 or 5 times a day just to ensure that this program was happening and it would happen the way that he would want it to, I'm telling you, we were like, Coach, you need to really recuperate, and we got this. I'd also like to thank all of the coaches and ADs. If you're in the room, could you please stand? We know as coaches and athletic directors, sometimes the process can be very grueling and frustrating when you want to get that win or you're trying to teach your athletes something new. And sometimes it seems like a thankless job. As a parent myself of a young athlete, I realize how tough that job is. And I just want to say you all have done a great job. Obviously, this is a true testament of your effort, so we thank you for that. We thank you for being their motivators and also teaching them more than just sports, but teaching them how to be great human beings. So on behalf of the Charleston County School District, thank you. And then last but certainly not least, we'd like to thank all of the parents. If you're a parent here of an athlete, could you please stand? athletes, I think you ought to give your parents a standing ovation. We know, parents, that you have invested in your students' futures with the countless hours that it took for you to get your students to practices, to games, miles traveled, and we also know that you are their biggest fans, and so we just thank you for that. We thank you for investing in Charleston County School District and trusting us with your children, and we wish nothing but the best for you all. And funny story about Cam Turner that Scott talked about, the coach who's coaching in the Super Bowl. I actually planned and coordinated his wedding. I'm not that old, but I'm friends with his wife, and so, you know, we are proud of them here as well. And we also want to thank, finally, Scott Eisberg, who stepped in graciously and said, sure, I'll coach. There's several signing day events going on around the Low Country, but Scott decided that he would step in and help us out. And so, Scott, on behalf of the Charleston County School District and Coach Spurlock, we'd like to thank you just for being a part of our event. And before we close, we have one of our board members here today, Mr. Stobbs. Would you like to say a few words?
Congratulations to everybody. This is an exciting day, and this is an opportunity to look forward to a new beginning of your life. This is, I guess, the closing of one chapter and the beginning of another. This has been an exciting time in your life, starting college, starting a next level of sports. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this, and I really do congratulate you for everything you've done, and congratulations to the coaches, the parents, and for everybody who's supported you, and good job.
And so at this time, we will end our program. Before everybody kind of scurries away, we're going to ask to get one big group picture with Mr. Stobbs, Ms. Brazard, Scott, if you would, with all of the student athletes. We will have Daniel Head, who's our Director of Communications, who'll come up and take the group picture. And parents, just like we promised, we will make sure that your coaches get the pictures after this ceremony.